original tape.
Damn, okay, cool.
I love all that weird shit. Yeah.
What?
Look here, smile. Okay, guys, we are fucking ready to roll.
Should I be in the frame? I don't know.
Up to you, however you want to do it, bro. You want it to be...
What feels natural? How does it look if
I mean, do you want to be in the frame?
Not necessarily.
Okay, then...
Yeah. I just feel bad making you stand right here.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah, so we're just going to talk about your origins, give you a chance to provide some lore and everything, because there's not a lot to find out about you online. Or I tried.
Right.
Come here, so he's looking this way.
Gotcha.
I've done a few podcast or a couple of like podcast interviews and stuff like that, but they're like buried.
I know, a bunch of
We've looked
hardcore
so
screaming.
far for anything that we can find out about you too. But
Anyone in the hardcore scene, like everyone's done like a few podcasts here and there, hidden on like Facebook pages
You're
and
right,
stuff.
right.
But we kind of want to bring a more personal thing to it.
Sweet.
all right, rolling.
Ready?
Yep.
So yeah, just start. What's your name? What do you do?
My name. Should I look there or there?
It doesn't matter, man.
Okay, cool. My name's Tyler Odom. I am also known as Your Arms and My Cocoon, and I make screamo music.
Beautiful. How old are you?
I'm 20 now. I forgot for a second.
And how long have you been making music?
I've been making music since I was about 17 years
Gotcha.
old.
What I'd like to ask everyone, did you start listening to screamo? Was that the first music you liked? Or what got you into fucking catharsis and the most borderline extreme music?
Right. So when I was a kid, my favorite band was Nickelback for like 10 years. Yeah, good start. And I don't know, me and my mom would just always listen to like Nickelback or like Matchbox 20, some like post-grunge garbage. But I don't know. Soon after when I turned like, when I started getting into like middle school and stuff, I started like looking for more and like heavier stuff and like more emotional stuff. I got into like My Chemical Romance and Muse pretty early on, and then soon after that it was like I just wanted more and more. I got into like Slipknot and Gojira, and then the number 12 Looks Like You, which was like the biggest one for me to really like take it all out.
Gotcha. And then how much do you find, is it all just musical taste that dictates what you put out, or is it like what's the emotional backing behind it? Yeah, and get it as personal as you want. I don't want to make you talk about hidden things.
Right. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, right, totally.
I guess, yeah, a lot of, most of, like, what my music really is not music. It's, it's the people around me, it's the environment around me. When I was making this past record, the self-titled record, the Your Arms and My Cocoon self-titled record, there wasn't a whole lot going on in Katy, Texas, which is where I'm from, and I was like in love with this girl, and I didn't know if she liked me back. It was one of those things, and I wanted to make a record that was emotional as the things that I had been listening to, but still had like some ounce of happiness and love in it,
Yeah, I think there's great importance in like catharsis, and rather than sitting in your dark room alone thinking about this girl, I think music is a great output to let that fucking shit out, right?
Yeah,
to speak
yeah.
on how catharsis has been healthy for you,
Yeah.
as opposed to not letting it.
And it wasn't even just like a girl or just like love or anything. Like that part of my life, 17 years old, turning into an 18-year-old, if you're a kid, you got a lot of shit to work out. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what your background is. You're always going to have a lot of shit to work out. And for me, like, it was shit like sucks. You know, shit. It always. I was, like, you know, pretty depressed always growing up. Right, as I'm sure a lot of people are that are into screamo music. I think that's what it's for. But that one of my songs is called, in October of 2019, I called a suicide hotline for the first time in my life. And that's true. And I remember that moment as sort of like a tipping point in my life. You know, everything had just been building, all these like years that I had lived through, building up to one moment. And I remember after I made that call, I just had to take a step back and, you know, look at the things around me, look at my life for how it was, and try to look for things that, you know, were able to sort of help me in ways that I didn't think they could help me. Looking towards my friends, which, you know, I was like the only emo kid in fucking Katy, Texas, so I didn't really have a whole lot of friends, but the ones I did have, when they made me laugh, I learned to appreciate that so much more.
Yeah, likewise on us. Like, where we grew up, no one listened to emo or screamo or anything, so this is like my best friend through and through because of that. Speak about friends that you've met because you took action on your life, right? Or like you said, you stepped back to look at things more objectively or whatever. How did taking action help and like putting out music? Or were you making music prior to the suicide call?
I was making music a little bit. I had the first song I ever like fully recorded was Snowy. I made that like a couple months after I turned 17, and it was a couple months after that I made the call. But there's a dog in here. Hi, doggy. Yeah, it was pretty soon after that that I knew I wanted to put all of these emotions and everything that I had been feeling. Again, all of those years that had been building up, I wanted to put it into something. And if I didn't know how to express what I was feeling, then I knew that I could make something that could.
Certainly. Yeah. So then, about your first self-titled thing, are you surprised with the feedback you've gotten? Because it's pretty like.
People have tattoos.
Yeah.
To be real, when I mean, I guess I had put out a couple of things before it, just like tiny little bedroom projects or whatever. When that self-titled came out, I thought that it was gonna get like 20 plays, and then I was just gonna move on, you know, and I was gonna start making the next thing. That shit is so insane.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people listen to that, and like, I wouldn't say you made a new genre, but you definitely, like, let's call it, I refer to it as almost like techno, screamo. I mean, you have a lot of like blast beats that are very like almost Euro house-ish a little bit.
Yeah.
What were you listening to that inspired that other aspect? Because it's not just like traditional screamo. There's definitely your own style going on.
Yeah. So around that time, I was listening to screamo. I was listening to a lot of Drum Stream and Page 99, that kind of stuff. But I was also listening to my second biggest love has always been like do it at home style, like bedroom pop, stuff like Dandelion Hands and Bedbug. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of those, but
Dandelion Hands.
Oh yeah. They also connect with me like so starkly on an emotional level, and I always imagined in my head something like if you ever combined the two, like it would sound really fucking cool. And so I knew that when I wanted to start a project to direct all these emotions towards. I knew that I wanted it to be something like that.
Yeah, totally.
Is Bedbug the purple album? Okay. Yeah, I know.
It's the purple one with like the train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, to your point, like, people use this with, like, when they talk about blues a lot, that it's just like a guy in a six string. Like, your type of music just sounds like a kid in his bedroom, just belting it. And I think that helped us so much, like, because we feel alone. And, like, with no one else, and it helps to hear someone else just fucking with so much, like, veracity, you know?
Because that's what it is, too, is it's just me in my bedroom, and I'm just making music that I want to make.
Yeah, so it is just you. Your Arms of Cocoon is just one man, all you.
It is me. It's always been me.
Okay, very cool. And so you do, that's insane. You're incredibly good at what you do, my friend.
Thanks.
Yeah, of course. So what does the future look like for your Arms of Cocoon?
Well, I'm trying to record new music right now. I'm planning a tour, hopefully in like July and August. I don't know. The future is not something that I'm super worried about. I think if the future comes, and until then, I'm just as happy just staying right here.
So aside from the music, I guess, like, are you close with your family? And again, speak on only what you want to speak about.
I'm not super close with them. I'm not, we don't hate each other or anything. I love my family, but we just don't talk a whole lot. They're still in Houston, and I'm up here. And I don't know, we call maybe like once or twice a month, but it's nothing to write home about, I guess.
Yeah. Likewise with us.
Literally.
Yeah. What do they think of what you're doing? Have they heard it? Yeah.
So, I was a little embarrassed when it first came out. I didn't want them to know that I was making screamo music. 'Cause, I mean, they're both kind of old. But I mean, they're both. I mean, to my surprise, they're both like really proud of it, and that makes me really happy to know. My mom shows all of her like old lady friends, and my dad. My mom tells me I'm not super close with my dad at all, but my mom tells me that he like sits there on the couch with his iPad and just like listens to it over and over again.
Deep down,
cute.
under all that shit, he's proud.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And let's talk about Texas, because we're also interviewing a bunch of bands from Denton. So there seems to be somewhat of a DIY community there. But what was it like for you growing up there?
So yeah, Denton's definitely got a pretty big scene. I grew up in Katy, Texas, which is like a 10-hour drive from Denton. There was nobody else that was even remotely into emo music.
Conservative? When I think of Texas, of course I think of...
Right.
Cowboy.
Right, yeah. I mean, a lot of the older crowd definitely were, but a lot of the kids my age were a lot more progressively minded. Yeah, most of them were into like jazz music, surprisingly. Tried to start a few jazz projects that never really went anywhere because I'm terrible at jazz music.
Sure.
But I think not having anybody near me to help out was just another pushing factor to do it myself.
Yep, totally. And then how old were you when you left Texas?
I was 18.
Gotcha.
I left for college and dropped out immediately.
Okay. Yeah, what was the plan for college? Was that your passion? Just like what we're all told to do?
Well, I was definitely told to go to college, and I pushed really, really hard to go to an art college that I couldn't afford. I went to the art college for 3 months, realized that it was a goddamn scam, and then I left.
Yep.
And now I'm here. I'm just hanging out.
Doing arguably better, or I would say arguably better on your own terms.
Way fucking better.
Yeah, good, excellent, man, excellent. And then so you've lived in Illinois for how long now?
About almost 2 years. I moved to Illinois in August of 2020.
Okay. And then talk about the transition from Texas to here.
It's been hard living without anybody to support you, you know. For about 6 months when I was 19, I didn't have a home, which was pretty difficult. I met somebody who was kind enough to let me stay on their couch for a few months, which I'm incredibly grateful for, because otherwise I would have been out on the street for that long. And even just living on a couch was hard because, you know, you don't have any money. I didn't have any friends either. I was just like alone, with nothing to do and nowhere to go in this fucking nightmare city. Well, it's a nightmare if you got no friends and nowhere to go, at the very least. But doing better now.
TV shows, movies, animes, like just for editing
personally.
purposes.
Yeah. What's
What's yours?
I'm like, as I mentioned before the cameras were rolling, I'm like super into wrestling. I was watching wrestling before I came over here. I just think it's super cool. Favorite wrestler is, I'm wearing a wrestling T-shirt. This is Mick Foley. He's my favorite.
That's who you were talking about.
That's who I was talking about. Yeah, he throws
the
him.
Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
what do you think draws you to it, man? I mean, because it's super theatrical.
Yeah. I mean, that's what gets me is like, just how everything plays out. It is like super theatrical. It's like a soap opera, and even just like within individual matches, there's like this very subtle storytelling that goes on that you don't even realize as you're watching it.
I even love, like, I'm not that into it, but the lore behind each person. Like, you learn, like, little backstories and origins for the wrestlers, and I've always thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, the lore just behind everything, it really gets me, too. One of my favorite things to do recently is just go on a deep dive on, like, individual wrestlers and, you know, figure out, like, where they're from, how they started. I think that's probably like my second biggest love behind music is wrestling. I feel like if I could train to get big enough to be a wrestler, I'd do it.
Very cool.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
you will. Maybe you will. I got DIY, buddy. I got faith. Yeah. All right. Aside wrestling, let's talk about drug use in the scene and in your personal life, if you want to talk about it. Because I mean, some people in the scene are straight edge as hell and vegan and super healthy. Other people I've met are the opposite.
Right.
What has that looked like for you?
So I'll let this night out.
Ominous, omnipotent.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's
I know
really good.
the coffee shop next door is like horror movie themed, and this place has also got a whole bunch of like B horror movie soundtracks. So I think that's what's going on
I'm
here.
sure that's what we're listening to. Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, drug use.
Yeah.
I'm straight edge. I'm also vegan. So I don't really do any of that stuff. I feel like it's, at least from what I've seen, like drug use in the scene only really seems to go as far as like weed, and that's it, and like a couple of beers, which I think is a good time. Yeah. I don't really have too much to say about
Yeah. That's
about
kind
it.
of that's what a lot of people have said. That there's very little, and if it is, it's only just a few beers. You got anything? I haven't wrote. I got off a plane 40 minutes ago. Yeah, bear with me. Yeah. What do you think is crucial in the evolution of you as an artist? I
What's
know that's a loaded fucking
That's
question.
that's a big question. I think I've been having a lot of trouble just kind of sitting down and focusing on one thing at a time, especially just because living on your own in Chicago is fucking tough, you know. Like I just worked 12 days in a row, and I still don't know if I'm going to be able to make rent next month, you know.
Sure. And then for the camera, talk about your job that you're working aside.
Oh,
from
yeah.
music. Yeah, because I think that's fascinating.
So when I'm not making music, I work with bunny rabbits at a place called Cuddle Bunny in Lakeview in Chicago. It's the coolest fucking job ever. Just hang out with bunnies all day. Actually, I brought a little friend. Not a real bunny.
Bunny.
Oh, I was so excited.
Magician.
You asked me to bring the bunny ears, but they're in storage right now, so I brought a little friend instead.
Well, that's beautiful. Thank you, my friend.
That's awesome, man. I think that's great.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think
Beautiful.
that's cool. There's plenty more. Hold on.
I don't know. I don't think we need to push it too hard. This is like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what would you want to add? You think there's anything crucial?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nailed it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Thank you for
man.
being on. Yeah, I think we're good.
Word.